And we're live! Yes, now there's going to be probably people going, Soph, why aren't you on camera? Well, here's the thing. I'm uncomfortable in front of video cameras. I'm okay with having my photo taken, as you can see. In fact, I'd love taking selfies of myself because I can look very beautiful. However, I am actually I've always been uncomfortable in front of video cameras, and then we come to webcams and always trying to get the right angle, and for some reason I can't get the right angle, and it was really aggravating me. And gender dysphoria, anybody? Yeah, I know some people are going to accuse me of being a massive fucking snowflake. Well, so what? It's my fucking channel, and I'll do what I want with it. All right, this is my show. All right. Okay. So first of all, a bit of housekeeping. Obviously, I need to remind people, please do follow me on Twitter. Hoping to get to 4,000 followers by the end of February. I was trying to do that by the end of January, but January was quite a quiet month. I guess everyone's coming down from the presidential elections and the fallout thereafter. I think January was a quiet month. We had fucking riots in Washington, but you know what I mean. I think after that, people just possibly just wanting to take some time out. So yeah, hoping to get to 4,000 followers by the end of February, and I do follow most people, unless of course they're fascist trolls or people with I'm an affiliate marketer, I'm into marketing in their fucking description, bio, whatever you call it. Also, you can support me on Patreon. I currently have 2 Patreons, which is better than none. Technically, I have 1 actually, because the other one is my fiance, Kim Justice, who's also a YouTuber. You can go and check out her channel. She does documentaries on retro gaming. There is also a PayPal link down below in the description if you want to donate to me. And I still don't know if that link works. No one has donated. It's not compulsory. Anyways, on with the show. Sorry, what was that?
It was me, god damn it.
Oh, voice from above. I wonder who
Damn
that is.
straight. I'm above you because of my video, because I'm willing to show my face.
Well, you're not actually showing your face. I mean, neither
I am on my side.
Yeah. Well, actually, the real reason neither one of us are actually on camera is because the human meat suits which George Soros provides, praise be upon him, do get a bit itchy. I mean, this is how we really look.
Hey, maybe you do, but I look far worse, actually. I am shocked. I don't think you can show a picture of me on camera. It might get us your YouTube channel shut down.
You brought that on yourself. I should tell people. The other day, I said I was watching District 9, which is one of my all-time favorite sci-fi films, and of course, a South African film as well. Let's not forget that. I always love the line in it that when the aliens came, the flying saucer didn't stop over New York, Los Angeles, or Chicago. No, it stopped over Johannesburg. And basically, Ozma posted underneath, "Shh, don't tell people about the documentary about how we arrived here." Obviously,
I mean, how could I not say that?
I'm scared this is going to be clipped out of context. I mean, just the thing is, I've always tried to explain to people that the way for me to deal with our the absurdities of anti-Semitism is just to make jokes back at them about the shit that they say about us being fucking lizards and controlling the world economy. And talking of which, I know I brought this up on Monday's show, but the sound was shit and I didn't have Ozma with us, and we both find this fucking hilarious. Actually, that's the fucking space lasers. You there?
Yes, I am doing two things at once.
Are you remotely aiming the space laser at me?
No. Christy texted, so I was just explaining what was up because I didn't think that. I don't. I didn't. Whatever. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
She asked about a link, and I mentioned. Yeah, whatever.
Is she joining us?
I don't know if she's joining us. She might be joining us. That's what I'm trying to sort out with her.
Oh, okay. Sorry for the hold-ups, folks. We will get to this story in a minute. We might have another guest coming along.
Yeah. Anyways, I sent the link. Explained everything as best I could to not hold up our show anymore. So go on. Also, come on. We didn't do the wildfires. We did the tsunami that got the reactor in Japan.
Fukushima. The Fukushima.
The Fukushima one.
Yeah.
Come on. Wildfires? That's just downplaying the laser.
So, yeah, I mean, this is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, I did cover this on Monday, but there was a problem with my sound, so probably no one's going to fucking watch that show. So I didn't have Ozma with us. I should explain. I didn't explain to folks, but both me and Ozma are Jewish. And as I've said, I just have to laugh at the absurdities of anti-Semitism, though I do obviously know where anti-Semitism can lead. Every Jew does. Is she joining us?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
Anyways, you know what? I'm just gonna quit out of Twitter, so I stop having to deal with this week.
Right. So yeah, this is Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm still wondering how, what is the demographic of a fucking? I'm just.
You're wondering how she got elected.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so here's the thing. One of the problems with party politics when things are split between Democrats and Republicans is that sometimes people will vote for Republicans because their parents voted for Republicans and they don't care what who the Republican is or what sort of policy they have. So it doesn't matter how ridiculous and absurd her policies are and her attitudes are. The fact that she's Republican means that they should support Republicans. The Republicans are like unions, except minus the ethics. They are very big into solidarity.
Well, yeah, I mean, we know about people automatically voting Republican and with Aria and our friend Aria de Meslo, who did run as a Republican, basically to troll the Republicans. And when they found out about what she really stood for, they weren't happy. Anyways, so here's I mean, she's a crackpot fucking QAnon loon, okay? And here's some of the stuff she reckons. So the QAnon conspiracy theory, which holds that Donald Trump is secretly fighting a worldwide child sex slavery ring that was supposed to culminate in the mass arrests of his political opposition, is worth listening to. So it's worth listening to an internet troll then, because that's where it came from.
Yeah,
that
I mean, that sounds like an internet troll.
Well, it wasn't 4chan, but it was some site like that where this
2chan, 8chan, 16chan, 32chan.
Yeah, oh, you're counting in binary now. Is that our secret code from now?
No. I think the chans actually do go in binary, but whatever.
Anyways, the thing I've got a problem with this is that Donald Trump was good friends with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
So
he would be fighting for the child sex slavery ring, not against it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's Muslims don't belong in government. Has she read the First Amendment? The First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution? Yeah, freedom of religion.
Sorry, I don't understand what any of this is going on. I live in communist Minnesota, where Ilhan Omar is a state senator.
9/11 was an inside job.
It was inside a plane.
Shootings at Parkland, Sandy Hook, and Las Vegas were staged. If she does get dumped out of the GOP and then dumped by the electorate, she could always get a job as a correspondent with InfoWars, because this is the kind of shit they push.
If I recall correctly, one of Zavaris's relatives was in one of those It was around the area of one of those shootings.
Whose relative?
Zavaris. He's a roommate. He's been on the Fluid Voice a few times. But yeah. So I am aware of relatives of friends. I'm aware of at least one relative of a friend who is around the general area of one of those shootings, and he was scared that his relative might have been killed, and I mean they're very real.
Zionist supremacists are secretly masterminding Muslim immigration to Europe in a scheme to outbreed white people.
No.
Yeah, this is the Great Replacement conspiracy theory, which the far right push. Lauren Southern, she's one who's pushed this. Going back to Parkland, there is a video of her harassing David Hogg, who's one of the survivors.
Oh, yay.
Um, yeah,
So she's a horrible bitch as
yeah.
well.
Well, so did Alex Jones. He's harassed David Hogg as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, Alex Jones is a sleazy manipulator. I mean,
Yes,
there's a reason InfoWars is lies. Lots of lies.
yeah. Well, we've actually got a couple of stories about Alex Jones coming up. Leading Democrat officials should be executed. Yes, I know that on 2 occasions she has called for Barack Obama to be assassinated.
Yeah, that's
And one time was when he was in office. As if that makes it.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter when it comes to the security Obama's supposed to have.
Isn't threatening to kill the president? I mean, it's a crime, but isn't it counted as treason in the United States?
I would think so, but maybe it's because maybe she managed to make it indirect enough so that they can't make a strong criminal case.
Green suggested in a Facebook post that wildfires in California were not natural. Forests don't catch fire.
Yeah, they do.
Rather, the blazes had been started by P&G.
PG&E? Who's PG&E?
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck that.
What the fuck is PG&E?
Well, obviously, there's yeah, I've never heard of them.
Pacific Gas and Electric? Portland General Electric? Fuck. There's like a bunch of things PG&E could refer to. Oh, Pacific Gas and Electric, the band. So I assume it was the band that worked with the Rothschilds.
In conjunction with the Rothschilds, using a space laser in order to clear room for a high-speed rail project. Well, there is a high-speed rail project. They're building a high-speed rail between Los Angeles and San Francisco. But all this is bullshit. Now, that's the actual post. I'm not going to go through it. The Rothschild, this explains, and obviously me and Ozma are very familiar with this kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
The Rothschild family has featured heavily in anti-Semitic conspiracy theories since at least the 19th century. That's true. Yeah.
And they've gotten poorer.
Yeah, they actually have. That's, you think the Rothschild Bank is relatively small in comparison to many of the mega banks there are now. Okay. And I can tell you that and yet you have people like Alex Jones keep on going about the fucking Rockefellers and the fucking Rothschilds, and obviously George Soros is mentioned here, and I can't understand why people never fucking conclude that he's an anti-Semite, because all those people happen to be Jewish.
Wait, the Rockefellers were Jewish?
Yeah, didn't you know that?
No, I am the worst Jewish person ever.
Okay. And anti-Semites have generally updated the theory by replacing the Rothschilds with George Soros. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's provided us with our human meat suits, but he still hasn't given us access to this space laser. I mean, if us Jews have a space laser, why don't we use it on Marjorie Taylor Greene? You kind of think.
I mean,
we don't want people to know we've got a secret space laser. I mean, she really does think we are Dr. Evil, doesn't she?
Well, yeah.
$1 million. A more contemporary and plausible seeming mastermind for this is a reference to George Soros, obviously, for a global conspiracy to spread left-wing ideology. This is to do with the anti-Semitic. There's various anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, This is a reference to the cultural Marxist anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, which people like Pat Buchanan push. Green's version has instead updated the theory by giving Rothschild's possession of a secret, powerful space laser. She has probably watched Mel Brooks's History of the World Part 1 and thought it was a fucking documentary. Jews in space, zooming around, protecting the Hebrew race.
We're Jews in space.
We can't show you. We
attack us. We
slap them in the face and push them back.
Right there to fit their face or whatever. I can't remember that song.
So yeah, I mean, am I surprised that there's a far right anti-Semitic extremist in the GOP being elected to Congress by the GOP? Well, yes, I've said this. I just wonder, what her the British word constituency, district, the makeup of her district. I mean, it must be bumhole incest land.
Well, the thing is, due to the Republican Party tending to, for whatever reason, I forgot the term. So they went through a lot of state legislature to move the districts, the mapping of the districts around, so they could have as many Republican as many districts as they could possibly do that has Republicans. So
they're going to try and do that here as well. They're trying to redraw the constituency boundaries so that it would aid the Tories, who are the equivalent of the GOP in America.
Sophia, Perfect brings something up from before about the legal charge of treason having a narrow definition. So apparently it's only about providing support to enemies that the U.S. has formally declared war on.
Ah, right. Well, it's still a criminal offense to threaten someone. So, you have to ask yourself why she wasn't charged. Well,
like I said, the threat might need to be direct enough for them to have a successful case against her, and they might not have charged her thinking that they couldn't win the case. Well, the legal system is complicated in the U.S.
Anyways, the House GOP representatives are going to have a vote on removing her from the GOP. I mean, if the GOP, if there are GOP congressmen who want to keep her in the fucking party, you have to question their fucking sanity. Any
solidarity. She said she's Republican, so they have to go and support her no matter how absurd her policies are, just so long as they aren't left wing.
I mean, sure, she gets a lot of press attention, granted, but it's not exactly positive press attention, is it? And one has to, any political strategist worth their salt would tell the GOP that it is, really is not in the best interests of having lunatics like Marjorie Taylor Greene running around representing the GOP. I mean, considering, they're obviously they've been moved by the GOP to distance themselves from Trump. So, for obvious reasons. And so you would think that they would try and do the same thing with, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Sorry, just one moment. Right. Okay. Now, oh yes, this is another story with her. So you know that Biden has now said to U.S. embassies that they could fly the pride flag once
Yay.
again. Yeah.
Biden has actually been good with his original, whatever, the things that he writes down.
Executive orders.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he so right. So Marjorie Taylor Greene has been she's co-sponsoring a bill to basically prevent U.S. embassies flying the pride flag. I actually think it is actually really important that U.S. embassies do fly the pride flag during Pride Month.
Yeah,
because particularly in those countries where, shall we say, the attitudes towards LGBTQ people are not as progressive. It's a way of
Russia.
promoting. Well, yeah, Saudi Arabia, places like that, right? Where if you're LGBTQ, you're going to be killed, or there's a high likelihood that you could be killed for being LGBTQ.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that Biden had said to embassies that they could again fly the pride, LGBTQ pride flag. But of course, Marjorie Taylor Greene, well, I was laughing with Jane Fay a while back about, we complain about trans people not being intersectional towards other minorities such as the disabled, and yet bigots are very intersectional. If a bigot is racist, they're going to likely be homophobic as well.
Yeah. Well, this is why we need to support a lot more intersectionality in every community. That's everyone disenfranchised needs to rise up and work together.
Also, talking about LGBTQ, talking about the U.S. embassies flying the LGBTQ pride flag during Pride Month. Of course, this month is LGBTQ History Month. Is it still called LGBT History Month? I think there were.
I don't know. It might be LGBT or LGBT plus. It's that Queer History Month.
Yeah, I did complain a few years ago that it didn't have the Q, and I did think that was important. But nevertheless, it's LGBTQ History Month to me, and it's important that we remember our history. Yes, there's been a lot of bad shit which has been done to LGBTQ people, but we should also remember that we have overcome a lot of shit.
Yeah.
We should also remember that, Anyways, yes.
Stonewall made a lot of difference.
InfoWars Alex Jones helped jumpstart January 6th. Where's the TH? January 6th rally organization efforts. Yeah, this keeps coming up. I mean, he has admitted it. He has said it himself.
Yeah. Although sometimes we don't know when he says it if he really had anything to do with it or he wants to take credit for it.
Well, yeah, he's kind of there's hold on, I think I've got it here. Yeah. There's another story which we'll get into in a minute because he does seem to be speaking out both sides of his mouth. On one hand, he say, I helped, this, the Patriots, basically go, storming Congress, and yet he's also saying, oh no, see, it was Antifa. basically he's talking out both sides of his mouth, because obviously he realizes that, the patriots are all very happy, and they're not fucking patriots, can I just say? The far right, shall we say, are all very happy, about what happened, right? And they're not so happy about the aftermath, when they all get their asses are getting arrested, and thrown in jail.
Yeah, well, I would say some conservatives were not happy with it, especially the ones who were being threatened to be hung.
So he's basically speaking out both sides of his mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. On one hand, he's trying to appeal to his far right audience, but on the other hand, he realizes there could be, shall we say, legal issues for him, and he's already facing, a good deal of legal issues, shall we say. Various people are suing him, and I hope that he gets sued to the point where he doesn't pop the piss. I'm going to say that.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, see, this is yet again. Oh, by the way, now, in a serious note about George Soros, this is actually an organization he does actually fund. And they do good work. So they do they do highlight the shit which the far right are spouting. Along with, was it Right Wing Watch? That's another, but he doesn't, I don't know if he funds that, but that's another organization similar, and they do good work as well. So please support these kind of organizations. So yeah, Alex Jones is saying that he and Trump was set up by the Secret Service to be blamed for January 6th insurrection violence. Well, on one hand, he's bragging about, I helped fund it, and then he's saying, I'm being set up. You see, he's speaking out of both sides of his mouth.
Yeah. I mean, that's common with a lot of the alt-right.
Yeah. I don't know why people call them the alt-right. They're just the far right. Yeah, just different marketing.
Yeah. Far right, alt-right.
Yeah, so...
Sorry.
So, yeah, Trump... So this is to do... it's been in the news. Various lawyers for Donald Trump have quit. Rats scuttling off a sinking ship, methinks.
Oh, man. That's... I would say that's never a good sign, but in this particular case, that's a hilarious sign.
The other thing is, right, considering the kind of witnesses, did you see some of the nutcases, and they were, who Giuliani got to give evidence to state legislative committees? I mean, I'm sure there was one woman who was sitting there and she was chewing gum. I'm sure he just got her out of a bar. He went into a bar. Hey, do you want to come and give evidence? Yeah, all right. Yeah. She just looked like she walked out of a bar. Actually, she sounded drunk.
Yeah,
that's why I said,
the drunk lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember her.
It would be hilarious. It would be fun to see if that happened again. But in front of what is this going to be the it'll be a joint House committee, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. See if it's see some of these fucking lunatics give fucking evidence in front of a congressional committee. But then again, of course, there are some lunatics already elected in Congress anyways. It's not just Margaret Taylor Greene. I mean, fucking what's his name from Florida, the one who complains about his Twitter followers.
The one who complained about the I fucking remember.
Yeah, I mean, this is I forgot what his fucking name was now. But he when basically Twitter decided to take out the Nazi trash, his Twitter follow, the amount of Twitter follows he had suddenly dropped all of a sudden, and he was complaining about this at a time when there was a 9/11 happening every day in America, and the amount of people who were dying from fucking COVID.
Yeah.
And you just kind of think some people really have got their priorities fucked up. But not just that, their priorities are fucked up and people are dying as a consequence.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Sidney Powell. I'm going to say something about Sidney Powell. There's one thing I like about Sidney Powell. Her accent. She has a raspberry southern accent. And I love her accent. I don't like what she says, right? But I do like her raspberry accent. Southern accent.
Is there like another cross the pond thing where America thinks every UK accent out there is really enjoyable to listen to, and then UK is just like, I like that one southern accent?
No, I can tell the differences between. It's really funny actually. Going a bit off the topic, but there was a trans woman I know from Canada, and the first time I spoke to her, I noticed that she had an North American accent. But when she said "a built," I knew immediately she was Canadian. So she was really surprised. I guess she was Canadian. I said, "Well, I've lived in the United States, so I get I do get the regional accents." I'm not sure where in the south she's from, but she does have a southern accent. I know that. But anyways, she can't spell for her fucking life. I thought I was dyslexic. And well, Trump has had a tantrum about this, apparently.
Well, he wants to shame Sidney Powell. That's all it is.
Well, yeah, he wants to blame everyone else for his own fucking failings.
Well, yeah, but he wants to shame her specifically, and he's just waiting...
for not releasing the Kraken.
For her spelling, because he's like, this is something I can make fun of, so I'm going to shame her for her spelling. Because he is looking for any straw to shame people he doesn't like.
I forgot so I'm just trying to remember what word it was that she spelt wrong.
Oh, district?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, it was district, wasn't it?
Sorry,
yeah.
I saw it. I saw it in the thing while you were scrolling down. That is impressive, actually. District is misspelled in 3 different ways.
For fuck's sake, she would have typed it on a fucking computer. Word does have a spell check,
Yeah, but at the same time, it's not like a big deal.
Oh no, they probably think that if they put the spell check on, that Microsoft are going to keep tabs on what they're writing, don't they? Or some fucking conspiracy like that.
Yeah, that's possible.
Well, anyways, Trump complains about the spelling mistakes that Sidney Powell made. Well...
Okay. Okay, so the district thing was kind of funny. This is, Sophia, Sidney Powell's from North Carolina. That's the accent, in case you're wondering.
That's South. That is the South, isn't it? North Carolina's the South, isn't it?
I don't know, it's close enough. At some point, there's going to be... At some point... Well, accents are regional. So at some point, there's going to be crossover with various aspects of the accent. So it doesn't fucking matter if it's north or south at some point.
Well, it's south of the Macy-Dixon, because doesn't the Macy-Dixon run through Maryland? Remember rightly?
I don't remember.
No, is it Kentucky? No, I'm not.
Look, there's a lot of and when you talk about the South, most of the time people aren't talking about California when they talk about the South, but California is down south.
Well, yes, but it's considered the West Coast.
Yeah.
Right.
Look, I am busy in the Midwest. I don't care about this north-south thing. I'm just in the middle. I'm a centrist now. I'm sorry, Sophia. I have gone full centrist.
Well, I think, yeah, the centrist. Yeah, I think Trump is just as bad. Yeah, but Biden's just as bad as Trump. What?
Not in spelling.
Well, anyways, so...
well, I mean, admittedly, that's Trump's lawyers, but I wouldn't be surprised if Trump has bad spelling.
Well, no, but Americans who go, well, I think that Biden's just as bad as Trump.
Yeah, no.
They really fucking need to have an IQ check, I think.
Well, I mean, so there are two types of people who say that. There are people who say that for centrist type reasons, and there are people who say that because they assume, and not necessarily wrongly, that the concentration camps are going to continue and people are still going to die in those concentration camps. And they're jaded about the fact that
you should. Did you? Sorry, I didn't quite hear. You said concentration. Did you say Did you mention that this is ICE?
Yeah, I mean the ICE is.
Yeah.
Admittedly, the ICE is not listening to Biden.
Just distinguish, because basically, I'm scared that people are going to go, "What the fuck is she going on about?" What she's talking about is the camps on the border.
Yeah, the detention centers are functionally concentration camps. Yes, because it's a concentration of Hispanic people, some of whom are legal United States citizens who just the ICE put them in the camp first, check later attitude.
Yeah. Yes, and let's remember that Ben Shapiro, who has learned nothing from Jewish history, despite, being the self-appointed king of the Jews who thinks he gets to arbitrate who's a Jew and who isn't, supports these concentration camps.
Yeah.
By the way, talking of that, I forgot to tell you. I finally remembered to post that link of the video you and I did on Ben Shapiro to Zoe Tur.
Oh.
She said she was going to go and watch it. For those you do know who Zoe Tur is, don't you?
Baby.
You don't. All right.
Look, right. Okay, so I am terrible with. I'm slowly ending up realizing who people are.
Right, I'm going to have to show you this.
Yes, you are, and I will.
No, I'm not going to use Ben's. It's just a clip of the actual.
Basically, someone who's been mentioned in the news and important enough to be mentioned in the news.
Right. Okay. I'll use the TYT one.
Ben Shapiro works for Breitbart. That's a conservative website, and they're all tough guys over there. And I know, because they're in favor of every war there ever was. Let's bomb, etc. And gay rights, no, you don't need any stinking gay rights. He's going to get into a debate here with Zoe Tur. She's a transgender reporter. Now, he's the one threatening to take her rights away, right? So you can understand why she's a little touchy about that. If somebody was looking to take my rights away, I'd be pretty pissed, right? So they're going to have this initial interaction on Dr. Drew's program. Let's watch.
Well, you can't sustain that type of energy. You cannot sustain that type of fame. Things shift. You have to reinvent yourself. But I think at some point, this comes crashing down because along with all this...
I should tell you, she's talking about, this is when Caitlyn Jenner came out.
Huh.
So this is why she was on the show, Dr. Drew.
And hype, eventually you find out that you're really in an existential crisis because what's my life really going to be like? Will it be? You have to deal with people like this, the hatred, the people that that come out against you and say,
we're calling you delusional. It wasn't because it's hatred.
Yeah, that's hatred.
Okay.
This is just somebody that's.
I don't hate you. I have sympathy
of
for you. I
course
feel terrible for you.
No, you do hate. You're consumed with hatred. That is who you are. You're a little
Do you know
man.
me?
You're a little man. Actually, I do.
Let's stick to the topic. Let's not these first.
But I mean, that's okay. He can be whatever he wants. But the point is,
right. That's what this is all about, isn't it?
It is. It is. But there's ramifications for hate speech. But the point
What are
is
those
that.
ramifications?
Let me finish.
Go ahead, finish, Zoe.
Little boy.
Zoe.
Okay.
Zoe.
I'm sorry.
It's all everybody.
Buttons are being pushed.
Okay, by the way, our own Sam Shocker,
Okay.
who you didn't see in that
So-
clip, was part of that segment and did a fantastic job. But all right, so there, obviously, Ben Shapiro's getting a little touchy there, as Zoe keeps calling him a little boy. But remember, he's threatening to take her rights away. She's not doing likewise. She's saying, hey, listen, this is who I am. I'm going to fight for that. And so she thinks the LGBT community should have the same rights as everybody else, including Ben Shapiro. And he's the one that's constantly, belittling her and saying, "Oh, I'm not hating you. I just think, I feel sad for you." Oh, you were born that way? I feel sad for you. Okay. So let's be clear on who started this. Okay. Apparently, according to Shapiro, Zoe Tur also said, you can cut that out now or you'll go home in an ambulance.
Yeah, she did. I've seen.
Ooh, Ben got really scared from that. Big bad Ben? Not exactly. Little bad Ben. So then Zoe apparently said, I'll see you in the parking lot. And CNN security reportedly escorted the commentator to his vehicle. Okay, so let's pause right there.
So, yeah, she did say that. I've seen the unedited clip. I couldn't find it quickly, but that is what she said. But I perfectly understand where, I sympathize with her. Absolutely. I mean, if I was sitting next to Ben Shapiro, whether he's been a complete and utter cunt, I think I would lose my rag. Yeah. So, yeah, I posted the link, the video you and I did on Ben Shapiro a few months ago. I posted because I'm friends with Zoe Tur, so I gave her the link. She said she'll give it a watch.
Oh, neat.
So.
Yeah, no, she seems like a cool person. Yeah.
So, yeah, back to this. So, never mind about Sidney Powell not being able to spell fucking district. So, his new lawyers don't seem to be able to spell the United States.
We grew up here. How do you get away with that? Is it because of so I know that there used to be racist laws related to spelling. Is it because they okayed every white person? Is that why there have been groups of homeschooled white kids not being able to spell? Is this the reasoning? I'm trying to figure this out because that's.
Yeah, and this is his new
How
legal
do you end
team.
up being a lawyer? How do you end up as a lawyer and not being able to spell the United States? It's going to be on every document that you sign, everything that you do as a lawyer. United States is going to be showing up everywhere. Sorry.
Yeah. Fucking hell. So, yeah. The thing is, I still don't think Trump will be impeached. I still think there's enough GOP senators who won't go for it. I kind of think that maybe the Democrats. The thing is that the Democrats obviously want to impeach him because, the House obviously has already impeached him twice.
Yeah.
But the Democrats in the Senate obviously want to impeach him for the significance of impeachment. However, there is one thing I think that they could compromise with the GOP, because I think there's enough GOP senators who realize that Trump is such bad news that if he ran for office again, it would be, it would be disastrous for the United States, but it would also be, but for them it would be disastrous for the GOP.
Because you don't want the GOP split.
Yeah.
If you're GOP, sorry, you don't want the GOP split. I don't care if the GOP splits.
Well, there's a part of me that says, I'd be quite glad for the GOP to split because they would cancel each other out electorally. So, the Democrats would stay, basically there'd be a split on vote on the right. So essentially, the Democrats would stay in power. But I would imagine that those GOP senators would realize that Trump is bad news for the GOP. So that they could censure Trump. In other words, there is another way of basically ensuring that he can never run for public office again, rather than impeach him. I just think that the Democrats, because of what happened with Clinton, they really want to impeach Donald Trump. And I don't blame them. Trump does deserve to be impeached, but I still don't think it's going to happen. Sorry. How much I want it to happen.
Or he's not going to be the final part of impeachment. He's not going to be he's not going to be retroactively removed and banned from office. No.
Basically, what I'm saying is that they would need to, because he can run for another term.
Yeah, I know.
Right? So they need, the thing is, what I'm saying is, impeachment would mean that he can't run for public office ever again, right?
Yeah.
And that is the thing I think is most important here, okay? Above everything else, right? Democrats
the final part, because obviously he's been impeached, and impeachment's a complicated process.
No, well, he hasn't been. He hasn't had. But the Senate need to seal the deal, if you know.
Well, yeah, they do the second part of the impeachment process that involves the removal from office and the prevention to. But technically speaking, he has been impeached twice still.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm trying to say to you is the Democrats obviously.
I know you're trying to say that the Senate Republicans are likely not enough Senate Republicans will go along with it to get the proper amount of majority.
Yes, but they might go along with censure.
Yeah,
to prevent him from staying for public office again. So I think that the Democrats should think about possibly compromising there. And remember what's the most important thing here. Right.
Well, Trump is old.
Yeah. So talking about his successor, Biden. Now I'm going to say this: Biden has actually. Well, it's gone past my expectations of what he would do.
Yeah.
Though Marjorie Taylor Greene was trying to impeach him on the 21st, wasn't she? She said that she was going to. She actually did try and enter articles of impeachment in the House of Representatives.
Yeah.
Despite the fact he hadn't been in office for less than 24 hours, he hadn't done anything.
Yeah, which is why I don't think the Republican senators would even go along with that, even if it's not going to get through the House, and it's not going, and even if it, if we're in an alternate universe where it went through the House, it wouldn't go through the Senate either.
Well, no, it was I mean, no, but this is Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a nutcase, right? She went on Newsmax and said she was going to enter articles of impeachment against Biden, when he hadn't even been in office. And it was like, what? And I mean, Newsmax is a fucking, I mean, you think Fox News is bad. I mean, and Newsmax makes InfoWars look sane.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he suspended arms sales to Saudi Arabia. This surprised me. This did surprise me, considering that Saudi Arabia are considered a big ally in the Middle East. And it has put pressure on the UK government to follow suit, because let me tell you something. Business might be bad because of lockdown generally, right? But one thing that Britain trades very well in is arms. Right, Britain sells arms to lots and lots of people. They say that this country doesn't have a manufacturing base. Well, it has a big arms manufacturing base.
Gotcha. So Britain is basically Kaiba Court from the Yu-Gi-Oh series. That's an obscure ass reference. I am just gonna step back from that.
Anyways, this reminds me of a story from 10 years ago when David Cameron was Prime Minister. So, do you remember the Libyan civil war when they ousted Colonel Gaddafi?
Vaguely.
From a decade ago. Right. Okay. So, Gaddafi was still in power at this point, and David Cameron was actually on a Middle East trade tour, right? And while he was on this Middle Eastern trade tour, he was condemning Gaddafi for being a despot. Yet the trade tour really was selling arms to other Middle Eastern despots. So, Gaddafi, he bad. But, look at all these nice despots. I mean, I think it was like the Bahraini government who are known for, not known for, basically respecting human rights. They were selling fucking shit ton of arms to. It's a fucking hypocrisy.
Yeah, because the problem is a lot of countries, too many countries, follow the policy of doing what makes their country more powerful. And to do that, is you support whatever government, whatever country supports your country, regardless of their economic or their political situation, so long as they're going to support. So if we're talking about Britain, so long as the country will support Britain, Britain will support that country.
Well, it's a bit more with the Middle East. Obviously, it's a little bit more complicated because there's lots of oil there. I mean, fuck's sake, the Iraq war, the tanks that rolled into Baghdad should have had it on the side, stenciled on the side of them, sponsored by Exxon, right? Yeah. That war was about oil, okay? Now, we are becoming less dependent on oil due to, renewables, and I know in America you have fracking. I don't agree with fracking, but
fracking is god awful, and
it caused an earthquake here up north. When I tried it.
Look, it's not my fault that the United States government is chaotic evil.
But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is this is why in the past that we have supported these sort of autocratic despotic regimes in the Middle East. It's for the oil supply, okay? But as that lessens, I kind of feel that it's all just about profit now. It's just about selling arms to dodgy regimes for money. Now, at the moment, of course, the British economy, the British economy is fucked because of COVID, just like about everywhere else, but it's doubly fucked in this country because of Brexit.
Yeah.
So, basically they have to big up the arms trade, don't they? Because, that's at least one thing that Britain's good at doing. In fact, actually, I don't know if this for sure, but someone did tell me. I don't know if you remember.
Well, Britain's pretty good at colonialism.
Was it 2017 or 2018. It was 2000. Yeah, it was 2018 when the IDF fired on, they killed 50 Palestinian protesters at the Gaza border. And I remember Theresa May, who was Prime Minister at the time, Benjamin Netanyahu actually was visiting Britain just after this, and she did object to them doing so. But someone told me that the guns or some other equipment that the IDF were using was supplied by Britain. Why doesn't that fucking surprise me? So anyways,
yeah, Biden does have more, especially more motivation because he does want to go hardcore into renewable energy so that the population of the Earth doesn't die.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've always argued on two fronts about renewable energy. One is to do with obviously the environment, but it's also economic. It's the fact that we will be less dependent on oil, which means less wars in the Middle East.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is the one I always got with libertarians, because they always go, oh, I remember there was loads of libertarians on here who were going, no, renewable, they were always in denial about climate change. They're all climate skeptics. And then I started saying to them, well, look, you don't agree with, with the wars in the Middle East. Well, every time you fill up your car with petrol, you're helping that to happen. So maybe you should think about renewable energy, in a different way. Anyways, the other thing he is going to do is direct the Justice Department not to renew contracts for private prisons. I think this is at a federal level, isn't it? Not at the local, which would also be good. You run prisons for profit, you're going to get more people locked up. Okay,
yeah.
Just going to say that. Michael Moore actually covered this in Capitalism, a Love Affair. But basically, you get communities who need to build a new prison. Some private contractor comes in and says, oh, we can build and run a new prison. And then what happens is a lot of people who, okay, they break the law, but, the most they deserve is a slap on the wrist, end up getting thrown in these prisons because, well, the prison needs to make money. And the more prisoners they have in the prison, the more money they make, right?
Yeah. And that money goes to senators and representatives who oftentimes make legal policies to get more people into prison. So it's a nice little cycle.
Yeah, there's been stories about judges taking backhanders from the companies which run these prisons. To send people to give harsher sentences. So.
Well, some judges don't need extra motivation to give harsher sentences to black people.
Yeah. But anyways, this is a really good move. There's far too. I think what's the prison population in America is about 10% of the fucking population, isn't it? It's about 3.
I don't remember. But it's ridiculous.
1%. Sorry. Well, that's one. Well,
we also need. Sorry.
Well, the population of America is roughly 350 million, and the prison population is just over 3 million, nearly 4. I think someone said to me the other day. Yeah. So that's over 1%, and I mean, I'll give you a comparison. Britain's population is around about 65 million. In fact, we're having a census next month. And the prison population, I think, is about 80,000. Yeah, so America throws a lot of people in prison, and I mean, if they Biden's part of his platform was also to legalize marijuana. Well, that would alleviate a lot. A lot of people wouldn't be going to prison.
Yeah, well,
a lot of people in prison are for drugs related stuff.
Yeah, and also it would really help if going to prison didn't take away your right to vote, because there are a lot of gerrymandering that has been done specifically to basically have a lot of the people in a district be prisoners, so people who can't vote, and then just have a few white people in the district to get the Republican in office. It's really fucked up.
I was going to say, I actually know somebody, well, me and Aria both know somebody who was wrongly convicted of murder, I have to say. And this was in Florida, of course.
Yeah.
So, you know, they were released from prison, but of course they can't vote in the state of Florida. So Pete Buttigieg has been appointed to Biden's cabinet, and he becomes the first gay cabinet secretary. And look who voted against his appointment.
What?
Yes.
Senator
Cruz.
Ted Cruz, the guy with the... I don't know. He always looks awful. I mean, to be fair, to some degree, that
photo's a bit out of date, actually, because he's grown a beard. And I remember someone said to me,
"Oh fuck, hasn't he?"
Someone said to me, he's starting to look like Steven Seagal.
Yeah, that is outdated.
So here are all the homophobes. Well, actually, there's probably more homophobes in Congress, but yes, all fucking Republicans, of course. Any names that
Marco Rubio, of course. Ted Cruz, of course.
Marco Rubio. Rick Scott, that's another one.
Tom Cotton.
Oh God. Yeah, it's basically all the usual suspects, isn't it?
Yeah, Rick Scott.
Yeah.
I don't know all the names, but yeah, those are the ones that are the most familiar to me in terms of these sorts of policies.
Fuck.
Okay, so I hate to say this, but as much as I hate Ted Cruz, he either looks better with a beard or preposterous and ridiculous. Like, seeing him try to look serious with a beard, he looks awful and bad, but like, it depends on the angle. He looks better in some angles and worse in others.
Right. Oh, well, yes, we've already covered that. Oh, well, here's a surprise. I do actually know.
Wait, ex-transgender and ex-gay Republican staffer fired from English. Wait. Oh, Jesus was conversion therapist.
Yeah, I've heard of this guy before. Yeah, so apparently he was caught up in, is it him? I don't know what his pronouns are, unfortunately. I would imagine it's, if he's ex-transgender. Is he, oh, right, so he, sorry, I'm getting a bit confused. So they, ex-transgender, so I take it that they gender transition to live as a woman.
Yeah, presumably, if, like, what pronouns that person goes by now is what's most important, but yeah.
Kevin Wick got national attention last year when he appeared in hit adverts opposing opposing Joe Biden's campaign, where he said affirming a trans child's gender is legal child abuse.
Kevin Witt, I assume, said that. Yeah.
So, yeah, well, my response to that is what? And having them go through a puberty they don't want to go through isn't child abuse? Because believe
it's
me,
fine. That's
I
the
went...
natural child abuse. Natural, horrible things happening to you is fine. Watching someone die of cancer as a child is fine. So, like, it's wrong if you give them drugs to stop the cancer. Cancer isn't a good choice for an analogy, but you get what I'm getting at.
In 2010, Witt auditioned for RuPaul's Drag Race, but was rejected. He identified himself as a drag queen and not as a trans. Right? Okay. Well, they were a drag queen.
Okay.
By 2019, he was working as an anti-LGBT. Funny enough, actually, talking about drag queens, I saw a very brief clip of the Capitol riots where I saw 2 drag queens. They were interviewed, and they were Trump supporters. Oh, there always has to be one. There always has to be one, doesn't there? There always has to be. You know. Yeah, and this is the thing. I always, I'm firmly on the political left. I am as progressive as they come, right? And yet, why is it that I always get fucking GOP and Tory trans women wanting to be my friend? Why?
I honestly don't know. I mean,
it's like I'm a cunt magnet.
I can, you know what? To a lesser extent, I can sympathize. But that being said,
I know what some people are going to respond to. Some people are going to respond to that by saying, "Well, you shouldn't. Do you judge your friends on your politics?" Up to a point, I do. Yes, I mean, I do have. I do know 2 trans women who are Tories, right? But both of them are socially liberal, right? Sure, we'll disagree about things like Brexit, about immigration, about possibly tax and regulation, right? But we're all very but the one thing that we have in common is we're pro LGBTQ, and thus we don't have to have stupid fucking arguments about are trans women.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's what people don't understand. People say you shouldn't make friends. You shouldn't judge. You shouldn't have. You shouldn't judge. You shouldn't. You shouldn't have friends judged on politics. And I go, well, when you're trans, it's a little different, right? Because obviously, I don't want to. I'm not going to have friends of I don't want friends who think I'm still a man.
Yeah, that's kind of that's.
Sorry, that was.
It would be weird to be friends with someone who's going to be disrespectful towards you constantly. Yeah. Like that's not a friendship.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways,
I mean, it's fine to not be friends. Like you don't have to be friends with everyone on this whole goddamn planet.
Right. Well, why aren't I surprised?
Wow, Marilyn Manson is full of bad news.
Yeah, I mean, I did post the other day. I said, has there ever been a positive Marilyn Manson story ever?
I think at some point in the past there was. But so, fuck Marilyn Manson.
So to fill people in, Marilyn Manson has been accused of sexual abuse. He's been dropped by his record company and disowned by just about every person. Okay?
Yeah.
And something has come up here specifically that he's a homophobic bigot. Stylist Love Bailey has accused Marilyn Manson of holding a gun to her head and telling her he doesn't like. Well, I'm not going to say that word.
Yeah.
Okay. Love Bailey, a fashion stylist and filmmaker, originally made the claims against Manson via social media in 2017, but repeated them in an Instagram video on Tuesday, the 2nd of February, and made multiple abuse allegations against the singer. Yeah, it's funny how you won't know about this. Christy might have, which is a sad thing, which didn't come on the show. But back in the 70s, John Lydon, otherwise known as Johnny Rotten, basically there were rumors about this guy called Jimmy Savile, who was a DJ and a TV personality, right? And there's a banned interview, which has come to light now, John Lydon gave, where basically he sort of intimated, yes, Jimmy Savile is a paedophile. When Jimmy Savile died, when was it, 2012, 2013, it all came out. It all came out after he died that, yes, he was a hardcore child sex abuser. His abuse victims number in the hundreds, right?
Oh.
So it's funny how, like, you know, you have these people who they will say somebody is a sexual abuser, and everyone will go, "Oh, stop it! You're just jealous of them because of their fame." Blah de blah de blah. And then a few years later, they're proven right. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the other thing is, of course, the one I used to get was because I used to look kind of gothy when I came out. People go, "Oh, do you like Marilyn Manson?" Because they actually assume that because they just, this is the thing, they didn't see me as a woman, they see me as a man who wears makeup, right? So they think, oh, they look a bit gothy and they wear makeup and they're a bloke, well then they must like Marilyn Manson. No, nor do I like hair metal either. That was the other thing. Back in the 80s, all, you know, men wearing lace and makeup. I'll be honest, it was a turn off for me. Okay, I like my men to be men.
I am just, a part of me is distracted because I was thinking about the similarities between Marilyn Manson's haircut and my haircut, and I did notice. I did notice. I'm just like, that's not good, especially because like I was seeing gray on the side, and like my hair's going gray on the side. I'm like, God damn it! I'm not liking this.
I'm in a stream with Marilyn Manson. This is how Marilyn Manson really looks without all the makeup.
Oh God.
Your secret is out.
Yeah, no, I don't abuse people.
No.
I occasionally make rash mistakes, but I don't try to hurt people.
So, yeah, you asked if I had this story. I did. And it's a shame Christy's not here because she lives in New York State. So
yeah.
So basically, this is what there used to be a law here about. I remember Caroline Cosy when she came out. Back in the early 70s, there was still a law about. Oh God, I forgot what it was. It was imitating women or something or other. Impersonating. That was it. Impersonating a woman or something or other. There was a law. But yeah, I mean, this is now being repealed, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Didn't this often affect? I'm not saying, look, please. I know this is going to be misinterpreted. All right, there's plenty of, trans women who are not sex workers. Okay.
Yeah.
But I would imagine the police would have used this against those trans women who are sex workers who hustle on the street.
Yeah.
Another reason why prostitution should be fully legal, by the way.
Yeah, there isn't really a reason for law against prostitution.
Yeah, actually, this is quite a recent law. The controversial statute was introduced in 1976 in a bid to curb loitering for. You see, this is.
Gave
We don't have
law
we don't
enforcement to free reign to target the trans community.
we don't have loitering in this country. I don't think there is a loitering law.
Yeah, so yeah, oftentimes I think there's a lot of laws that were set up to target to make it easier for police to target Black people especially, and obviously LGBTQ people as well, because what happened was in the Civil Rights Amendment was passed, so a lot of conservative legislators tried to crack down on aspects of that, and that's part of the reason why there was a rise with the Black Panther Party in the 70s, and that's when the NRA started to promote laws against public displaying guns publicly to try to make it easier to target Black people. But there were a lot of other laws to make it essentially illegal to be around while Black.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, in this country, I can't remember. I don't think we have jaywalking as a crime in this country. You do.
Yeah, it's because of rich fuckers in their cars. They wanted a reason to, and the thing is, like, jaywalking is not a law that's enforced, especially because what takes priority is a different law that got passed where the pedestrian is never at fault legally if hit by a car. And jaywalking was originally put in place so that the rich car drivers could not get in trouble because it's the pedestrian that's breaking the law, and then that got flipped somewhere around. But the jaywalking law still is on the books, but it's never enforced. Right. Almost never enforced.
Yeah, outdated statute has of transgender women of color. Well, there's a surprise. I'm just surprised this was such a recent law. 1976. I mean, that's within my lifetime.
No, that's the thing. There is so much stuff that, I mean, segregation wasn't outlawed until 1969 or 67. Sorry, 1967. I want to say, and so that's why there are people, who were alive during segregation. I mean, and like I said, they had to double down because they could just arrest people anyways for just walking in the wrong area. So because they couldn't do that anymore the way they did, they needed a new law.
All right. Sorry. After a while, this happens. It takes a while. Yeah, right. Okay, so there's a gay magazine called Boys, and the editor had to. This is from last November. There's an update to this, so
okay.
That's why I brought this back up to explain to people. Had to give a groveling apology after promoting anti-trans why don't we just call it what it's not actually just anti-trans, it's anti-LGBTQ.
Yeah, it is. It is an anti-LGBTQ.
Because they don't just hate trans people; they oppose gay marriage. We've found out that most of the people who are involved with this are either fundamentalist Christians or neo-fucking Nazis.
Yeah.
And also, they get far more attention than they deserve. It was found out that their branch in Ireland had 4 members. Yeah, this is and this is what really pissed me off, right? So before the Kira Bell case, which of course got a lot of good coverage, and that's what me and Kevin Logan did a stream about. And I did mention this in this stream. About a week before that all happened, there was another case, right, being brought against the NHS for actually not getting around to treating a trans man who's a teen fast enough, right? They'd been on the waiting list for fucking God knows how long.
Yeah.
So, and in that report, the BBC, they didn't go to a trans rights group or a trans support group, like Mermaids. No, who did they go for a quote? The LGBT Alliance.
Yeah, well, yeah, fuck the BBC. The BBC is a fucking heap of trash that has only gotten worse over time. The only part of the BBC that matters is the parts that work with whales.
So the edit. So basically, they were promoting the I just want to call them a hate group because that's what they are. The LGBT.
Yeah, they are a hate group.
Yeah, as far as that's what I feel, and I think they should be seen as that. Hopefully, I got the next story. Well, isn't that weird? They were promoting the LGBT Alliance, and it's found out that one of their editors had links with them. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. No, that's not weird.
No. Yeah. Coincidence? Nah. Yeah. So this happened in the last few days. This is actually this is the former trans affairs editor, Rebecca. Oh, for fuck's sake. So the trans affairs editor had links with I got that wrong. Brain fart there. Sorry, folks. I have those occasionally. So the editor of David Brindle.
That's David Bridle.
Sorry, Bridle. So yeah, she seems to have. Yeah, sorry, I was right. Sorry, I have these brain farts sometimes. It's all fucking awful.
That's fine.
So yeah, she's got. She has. She's had. So the trans affairs editor, Rebecca, whatever, Talon, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Talon de Havilland. She has links with the LGBT Alliance.
Well, she said she was absolutely horrified by co-founder David Bridle's defense of the LGBT Alliance.
Yet she's the one who's resigned.
Yeah.
So I'm getting this wrong. What? I'm sorry.
She resigned.
Do you want to take over for a minute?
Yes. Okay. Boys Magazine trans editor resigns over horrifying links to the LGBT Alliance. So she is horrified. Rebecca Talon de Havilland, or however you pronounce her name, she found out that David Bridle, a co-founder of of the Boys magazine, defended the LGBT Alliance, and she was like, "Nope, I don't want to work for this place
that's
because the co-founder is a defender of the LGBT Alliance." It would be like someone quitting the BBC because the BBC reporters happen to be defending the LGBT Alliance.
Right, sorry for that, folks. A bit of a brain fart there. People don't realise I'm actually dyslexic, so it's sometimes a little difficult.
Yeah.
Right. So, well, yeah. So Eddie Izzard, this is really I'm going to say this. There was another story I saw in Pink News, right? It said Laverne Cox says she's happily in love, and I went, right. Why is that a story? I mean, I'm glad that she is in love, but why, what, I'm sure there are far more serious stories to be concentrating upon, right?
Yeah.
Now, so yet again, this is kind of like, okay, this I get it. It helps promote
Laverne
trans,
Cox.
and so does this. But in some ways, I kind of think it's a bit of a non-story, I'm sorry to say it, that you just kind of feel that sometimes it's like they are looking for, Pink News or LGBTQ Nation are just looking for stories so that they say we've got new stories, no matter how trivial they are. Now, I know some people say, as I said before, well, I've just said, trans, obviously this does help promote the issue of trans, and I get that, but I can see, but I kind of feel that there are more serious trans stories to be promoted.
So this could help for new people being to not feel alone. So there is some good for this story, and obviously the Laverne Cox story. I think people want to see a happy trans woman because every movie has us dead. Just about every movie has us dead, and to see Laverne Cox be happy, there is some value in that, even if it's not the best news article. There is some joy that can be brought about because of it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I see why it could be a good thing. It's just me thinking, well, there are other stories, But I'll tell you, Eddie Izzard's coming out has pissed off one person. You know who that is?
India Willoughby, the person whose name is
yeah.
Because of course India Willoughby is pissed off.
Right. Now I went through some of this last night, but I thought because I was doing so, I actually went. I don't know if you saw last night, so I actually went through that Piers Morgan interview. I actually got through it. I had to do it. I had to speed it up, but I with Owen Jones, and obviously I had to go off and find some India Willoughby videos because we didn't get when we did it on your channel, we didn't get to the bit where he starts talking about India Willoughby.
Yeah.
And using her as a shield against transphobia. And,
it's fine. India Willoughby supports that.
And, when I was doing research for various video clips of India Willoughby, I came across this one. And I was actually shocked by the amount of true scum tropes there are that she drops. Okay?
Sunday, J.K. Rowling isn't transphobic, says Eddie Izzard.
Oh my God! What an absolute dog's breakfast trans has become. I don't really know where to start here, Kev. First of all, I'll say this. You know, hell will freeze over before I, as a trans person, actually call Eddie Izzard she or her.
Right, that's the first true scum trope.
Not just that,
and it's just and it's also transphobic.
Well, she also does her TERF support, so she doesn't refer to herself as a trans woman. She said trans person.
Well, she does when she wants to.
Yeah, I know, but like she to some degree likes to call herself a trans person. For Blair White does this too.
Yeah,
it's like a way because
to
soften potentially ever referring to herself as a trans woman, so that people can just be like, oh, she doesn't see herself as a woman, so it's fine, she's on our side.
Well, okay.
Because he's a he. What does it say on Eddie's passport?
Yeah.
On his gas bill? On his driving license? He's a he. He hasn't.
You don't know that, India.
Yeah.
Transitioned. And this is the whole problem with the word trans in speech marks at the moment. You have transvestites group.
Right. Two tropes there. One, the trans thing about the umbrellas, the term trans, the umbrella terms is too wide. That's a true scum trope.
Well,
also they're using the word transvestite.
Yeah, like who the fuck uses that? That's so old-fashioned. Like nobody in America uses transvestite as a term.
No,
like, nobody, not even
don't.
Conservatives, I don't think use transvestite as a term because it's so old-fashioned. They'll say crossdresser before they'll say transvestite. Like how the UK, especially England, what the fuck is up with the goddamn some people in England?
Alongside trans transitioners, I call them, people who actually physically transition and permanently move to one side, and they live that life with no fuss. They don't go through life waving a banner or holding a placard.
Oh, right. You mean people who actually stand up for the rights that you actually enjoy, that benefit you, the people like me who have stood out in the snow, and I literally have stood out in the snow, protesting against transphobia and protesting for better trans rights.
Yeah, like
fuck you, India, for that one.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's very much she wants to be one of the good ones.
Or have rainbow hair. They just get.
Oh, yet again, that's a very conservative sort of thing, isn't it? That's the kind of shit you hear from fucking Rosa Dawn.
Yeah.
Right? That, how can you remember what she did to ContraPoints?
No.
Well, basically, ContraPoints has been very public about the fact she's had problems with an opioid addiction, right?
Oh, that, yes.
Yeah, and Rosa Dawn went, how can you take this person seriously because I've got no... Doesn't mean that their opinion is invalid.
Well,
right?
yeah, I mean, that is also used to... there are a lot of ways people can look to invalidate an opinion.
Well, you see,
calling people crazy is often another one to invalidate opinions, which kind of sucks.
They're on with their life. And unfortunately, because you have this motley crew of all sorts together, trans people, real trans people...
Yeah, another true scum trope there. Real trans people. And who are you, and who the fuck are you, India, to basically say, who's trans and who isn't? You're not a fucking expert.
Well, not just that.
No, you're not the arbiter.
Well,
okay?
Not just that. At least Blair White, as horrible as her opinion is, Blair White does actually base who is the real trans person based off of beauty. And I know India Willoughby can't do that.
Oh, fuck.
So India is just.
But I was going to
lost.
make that. I avoid. You see, I avoided making that comment when she said, "Oh, you know, look at what the dog's breakfast trans has become." You know, I was tempted to say, "Hey, India, have you seen yourself in the mirror lately?" You know, but I won't do that to her. I just think. I mean, you know, I don't want to. You know, I know
she looks fine. Like it's not like she doesn't look bad by any standard.
Well, no, I don't think she does. I know she's had facial surgery and stuff. Well,
I mean, her cruel heart shines through.
Yes, that is it. That is it. You always get this thing with India, this aura of nastiness.
Face a really hard time. So I do not think that Eddie Izzard is brave or pioneering. I think he's extremely selfish. I think he's indulging in his own fantasy.
Hold on. That's the shit which would probably was said to you, India, about you coming out. You know, it has been said to me, and I'm sure it's been said to many trans people who have come out that we're selfish and that we're indulging in a fantasy. Yeah. I mean, the indulging in the fantasy, that's fucking terse speak.
Yeah, well, I mean, India Willoughby likes to talk with her supporters.
Of what it is. If Eddie wants to be a woman, then he should transition. And Eddie...
Yeah, that's a Blair White. That's what Blair White says.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, obviously Blair White and just about every conservative person talks out of both sides of their mouth when it comes to who is really trans, who's one of the good ones.
Yeah, India is actually... well, you'll see.
The other thing I will say, if Eddie's actually listening, which I guess he could be, is, Eddie, you don't actually speak for people like me. You know, you're a transvestite, so I'm sure you don't get offended.
Who speaks for you then, India? Adolf Hitler?
No.
Well, no, she's a fan of Nigel Farage. I know that.
By J.K. Rowling saying that trans people are men in dresses, because that is effectively what Eddie is. But for somebody who's gone through a medical transition...
Did I just hear what I heard? Oh, yeah. Okay. That's yet again more turf speak. Men in dresses.
Oh, yeah.
It is transphobic. And although I totally believe in free speech, JK should be absolutely allowed to say what she wants. Free speech.
She is. You know, all this stuff about cancel culture. I mean, has J.K. Rowling stopped saying what she says? No.
Freedom of choice does actually work both ways, in the sense that people aren't obliged. If people don't like what they hear, just as much as, you know, I don't like a lot of what I hear about Black Lives Matter.
Oh, strange that. She doesn't like Black Lives Matter. Oh,
I mean, she's
you know,
she's a white lady who named herself after Britain's entitled view of controlling India.
Yeah.
I assume she wasn't born with that name.
No, I could that name. Name her, but
so she's like some...
I'm not going to. But very funny enough, actually, I do know somebody. I do know somebody who once served her chips in a canteen when she worked for. She was She worked for Borders TV, and they served her chips. All right, so I'm just checking my chat. Oh shit! I had a turf in. Sorry. And my moderator isn't there. Hold on. So I haven't been paying enough attention to chat, but obviously me and Alex have been chatting quite a bit about a lot of stuff. So I do apologize. Oh shit!
What?
Oh shit!
What?
Go and have a look at my channel. I forgot to change the fucking screen. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit.
What? Oh.
Yeah.
Well. You know what?
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to quit.
Well, no, I was going to say, if you want to, there is a lot of screen time on a different channel that you can use.
Okay. I am.
If you want to.
I'm really embarrassed about that.
I have done more embarrassing stuff on Twitch. I guarantee you I've done more embarrassing stuff on Twitch.
I prepared this whole fucking show and oh jeez.
It's not ruined. You showed up. It's still live streamed on a different channel.
This is not working out.